are sweet tonight, but in the morning when you run away, I checked the love for love, and all I found, 2 torn up tickets and yesterday. Ooh, Allll, try your love.
Howdy folks, I'm Dan Gross and welcome to this brand new episode of the Rochester Indie Musician Spotlight, Rochester's premier music and interview show. This episode is brought to you by Bernunzio Uptown Music, Bop Shop Records, and Row Photo. Bernunzio Uptown Music, located in Rochester's East End, has been providing Rochester and the world with quality vintage, new, and used string instruments since 1976. Bernunzio also offers concerts, workshops, and jam sessions. This season we're in this warm, local, and creative space, Bop Shop Records. Located right outside the city at 1460 Monroe Avenue, Bop Shop Records is your Rochester home for blues, classic rock, jazz, and Americana roots music in vinyl for the past 35 years. Row Photo is your one-stop shop for photo, home theater installation, audio, and accessory needs. For 3 generations since 1898, Row Photo is there for you with second-to-none customer service. Stop by Row Photo's 2 convenient locations today. Joining me today are the Beaumonts, and I'm sitting here with their glorious leader, Steve Pizzuto, a big band with a cool ska and rock sound. And this is obviously Steve joining us. He is the vocalist and guitarist. They also have Charlie Frieda on saxophone, Evan Dobbins on trombone, David Goldstein on bass, and Eric Metzger on drums. They're coming out with a new record at some point.
May-ish, yeah.
May-ish, perfect. That's what we like to hear. I know they're really excited about it. They've been working on it for a long time, and we wanted to catch you up on what the Beaumonts have been working on. Steve, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you.
The first thing I have is, when did you start singing and playing guitar?
I started playing guitar when I was 15-ish, and I didn't really start singing until I was 32.
Really?
At least lead vocal. Backup vocals
Right.
I was doing around in my 20s with another band, Five Head, which is all, yeah.
And Five Head's still going strong, isn't
Five
it?
Head's, yeah, it's a machine.
It never stops.
Chugging along.
Would you have any formal musical training, or were you given a guitar one day and that's how it went?
I actually started playing drums for a year and a half, and then my brother brought home the first Van Halen album, and we listened to it, and I sold my drums 3 days later. Sorry, Eric. And bought a guitar. I'm like, whatever that guy's doing, I want to make that noise. So I got a guitar and pretty much locked myself in my bedroom for 4 years in high school and just played.
So was Van Halen what you were pretty much listening to at the time?
I was listening to a lot of stuff, but you get bit by a bug when you're a kid. You like just throw yourself into something, and that's your thing. That was just my thing. But so I tried to be the guitar slinger for a long time, that style, and then I kind of started realizing I was more into like the Billy Joel, Elton John songwriting thing, and I kind of dropped off of the trying to be a guitar hero.
Right.
Yeah.
So when did you start singing and writing then? Because that sort of took a while. I said, okay, I did the background vocals for a while, and then you started singing lead. When did the songwriting come in?
Five Head, I was writing with Five Head for years, and then we took a big, huge break. We kind of broke up for like 9 years. And I missed playing. I just missed I missed the whole process of it, and then I actually got the Amy Winehouse's Live from London DVD and got hooked on it to the point where I became obsessed with it. And the energy of that band was putting out was so inspirational. I just said, that's it, I got to pick this back up again. So I decided to form a band.
And that was the Beaumonts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had actually gone in the studio and recorded stuff I had been writing along the way, just like one-off songs here and there with musicians that I knew that were, were coming into town from, that I knew from years ago.
Right.
And then I think I had a collection of like 10 songs that they didn't have, they weren't really related to each other. But once I decided to get the Beaumonts together, I just picked like 5 I thought might typify what the sound was going to be and put out an EP. And then once the horns came on board, we kind of took a different direction. Yeah.
Was it ska at first then?
No. And it's funny you say that because a lot of people ask me about, when they say the Beaumonts, they mention ska, and I don't really hear that. I mean, there might be like a flavor of it here and there, but I don't think it's a ska. I don't really know how I would describe it in one word. It's like this eclectic kind of thing.
And this is always cool for me, getting to watch these bands in person and live, because sometimes when you're in an audience you don't always pick up on things, but getting to talk to you guys and hear it, there's so much of every little component in there. You might get like a jazz walking bass line. I know you play some extended chords in the guitar too. So when you first started writing that 5 songs, how'd you get these guys together? What was the pitch? It was like, we're just going to play this eclectic stuff, or how did it evolve, man?
It just sort of did without a whole lot of thinking about it. You know, like Well, Dave is a very studied bass player. I'm a hot dog bass player. I can play in five head, but when people have asked me to play outside of five head, like to sit in with their band, I'm like, no. I can do what I can do on bass and five head. After that, I'm sort of like,
right.
I'm not studied like Dave, so I always send Dave on those gigs. But he brings to the table his musical influences, and the horn players have theirs. Everyone has such a wide, just a diverse background of musical experience and listening and stuff like that. But once the basic construct of a song is written, I feel like everyone kind of just has this instinct, and they pitch in their own 2 cents, and it becomes this, this amalgamation of stuff that it wouldn't be with any one person in control. It's like everyone brings something to it, but I don't feel like it really gets thought out. It just sort of like it instinctually develops. Yeah,
very
in
balanced
the
and very organic. It's not like you. I mean, even though you're the songwriter and you have the melody and the lyrics, it's not like you come in and saying, "Okay, here's the checklist of what we're gonna do."
Yeah, I wouldn't want it that way, because then I lose the opportunity to have those guys take it where they want it, where they feel it should go.
Right.
We ping pong it back and forth a couple times maybe, or sometimes we might change something after it's forged a little bit, just because we'll discover something new about it that it has to offer. But yeah, I just feel like it kind of happens without us thinking about it, which is probably the best way to go about it.
And you started doing it that way, and you're still doing it that way.
Still, yeah.
And is that kind of how you're doing this current record? Just kind of went in and cut it, or how much did you plan everything out?
I think most of this, all but like 2 of the songs we played out quite a bit, and then there were 2 new ones that were written kind of like on the fly. Like while we were in the studio, they kind of like, hey, this sounds really cool. Let's pitch that other old one and put the new one on. So
right,
yeah.
And this one, where did you record this one?
This was all tracked at Blue on Blue off of Berkeley Street.
Shout out to Mark Webster, great guy.
Yeah, great guy. And
great guy,
Sam
great
Polizzi,
student.
Sam Polizzi's engineering it, and he's a lot of fun to work with.
Very cool. Now you said the loose date is sort of May somewhere.
Yeah, the record's like 80% done. It'll be out, I would say, in May.
Sounds great, man.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready for the music lightning round?
Yeah.
We have 2 lightning rounds. We're still figuring out what to call these things. Okay, so you mentioned Van Halen, but who would you say is your biggest musical influence?
Man, that's a tough one. The Eagles. I mean, it depends. There's it depends on what aspect of music you're talking about. I mean, AC/DC was my first concert, but I grew up listening to Roberta Flack and the Mamas and Papas, which I love, their harmonies, and Simon and Garfunkel and all that kind of stuff. But in the 70s was just this huge buffet of every band had their own sound. I loved all of them.
Right.
So, but there's something about the Eagles in terms of storytelling. I love the way they tell a story.
Yeah. Now you mentioned Five Head, but are you involved in any other musical projects or bands besides Five Head and Beaumonts?
I don't think so. Maybe.
He looks around like, can anyone else tell me what I do?
I can't remember.
So you also play bass?
I have been in the past.
Right. Now you mentioned you do play bass for Five Head, but if you could play another instrument or have another musical talent, what would it be?
Drums, and then trombone.
Trombone. I was a trombonist. That warms my heart.
I love trombone.
It's like that's a top 5.
Yeah, sweet.
That makes me feel good. What genre turns you on and what genre turns you off?
I love bossa nova and Brazilian jazz. I think that's the most beautiful music human beings have ever created. There's something really elegant and mysterious about it. And I absolutely loathe rap music.
I just hate it so much.
It just grates on me. There's a couple things. I like Humpty Hump.
Right.
I like Digital Underground.
Yeah.
I like, there's little pockets of things I like, but overall I just feel like it's sort of like, I don't know.
Doesn't do it for you. It turns you off.
Yeah, it does.
What is your biggest musical aspiration? If there was one thing by the end of it all, if you could say you achieved in music, you'd be happy with, what would it be?
To have people know the music. It's like I feel like I have really good songs to offer, but there's the other part of it is like, how do you get people to know about it,
Right.
I just feel like the world's moving so quickly that it gets to, because you got to have somebody sit down, take the time and absorb it. Like I feel like the music that I write isn't easily digested. It takes time to get to know it. And I feel like it seems like the musical culture is like if someone doesn't pick up on it right away, they kind of like walk away from it.
Yeah.
And that, so if just to get people to like know the songs, you know what I mean, that would be enough for me.
If now we're moving to our little Rochester-centric section of questions.
Garbage plate. Oh, I didn't ask you.
No, we're not there. We're not there yet, but that is one of them. What's your favorite Rochester food?
Man, does it have to be in Rochester?
I mean, it is. What's your favorite Rochester food? So yeah.
Damn it. I like Buddha Pub.
Okay.
Or Buddha Pub. I forget how you say it.
I think it's Buddha Pub. That's how I've been reading it. I really should have checked this.
Yeah.
Oh well. What's your favorite Rochester venue to watch a show?
Man. I really should have read these questions in advance, huh?
I didn't send them to you. I was trying to get you on the spot.
I don't know. Love and Cup?
What about your favorite venue to perform at?
Dinosaur Barbecue. Super fun.
Who's your favorite Rochester band?
Fox Sisters.
If you could spend one whole day somewhere in Rochester, where would it be?
Bop Shop, man. This place rules.
Perfect answer. And if, heaven forbid, if or when you leave Rochester, how would you like people to remember you?
The guy that showed up at karaoke in his underpants playing trombone when no one asked him to.
Thank you very much for your time, Steve. Really appreciate it, partner. You can check out Steve and the Beaumonts. We'll put their next gig on the screen for you. You can check it out. But their latest release is due sometime in May, so we'll correspond our episode to that. One more time, the Beaumonts are Steve Pizzuto here on vocals and guitar, Charlie Frieda on saxophone, Evan Dobbins on trombone, David Goldstein on bass, and Eric Metzger on drums. I'm Dan Gross. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Rochester Indie Musician Spotlight, and we'll see you again soon.
Party sugar kisses are sweet tonight, but in the morning when you run away, I checked the lot for love, and all I found, 2 torn up tickets and yesterday. Ooh, Allll, try your love. Allll, try your love today. Down around the corner, across the way, I know I'll find you nearly every day. Playing ring toss with a heavy heart, and fingers crossed that you win big today. Ooh, Allll, try your love. Allll, try your love today. Honey sugar kisses are sweet tonight, but in the morning when you run away, I checked the lot for love, and all I found, 2 torn up tickets and yesterday. Ooh, Allll, try your love. Allll, try your love. Whoa, whoa, Allll, try your love. Try your love today. Watch yourself now, pretty soon it'll all be over. Watch yourself now, in a way it's just begun. And if you ever find yourself out of the game and realize that you only have yourself to blame, I just might be right there to help you ease your pain and to start over again. Oh, Macy, Macy, why don't you lay your head down tonight? Amy, Amy, self-destruction gives us such a fright. Ooh, such a fright, girl. And if you ever find yourself out of the game and realize that you only have yourself to blame, I just might be right there to help you ease your pain and to start over again. Down tonight, Amy, Amy, your self-destruction gives us such a fright. Ooh, such a fright, girl. And if you ever find yourself out of the game and realize that you only have yourself to blame, I just might be right there to help you ease your pain and to start over, until you start over, until you start over again. She'll always have another lover living undercover, if only for the night, sifting through the wreckage of her disconnected day. Is this an ordinary lie in a matter of time before she'll stray? Wanting memories of life she's left behind only serve to sever ties that wanna bind. The silence is a virtue of her disconnected days. Is this an ordinary lie in a matter of time before she'll stray? lover, living undercover, if only for the night, sifting through the virtues of her disconnected day. It's just an ordinary lie, in a matter of time before she'll stray. Kisses are sweet tonight, but in the morning when you run away, I checked the lot for love, and all I found, 2 torn up tickets and a yesterday.